Okay, look. I'm Scotty. You're not. Whatever. Feel like sometimes I don't need to do the intro because I just want to talk. This is one of those times where I don't think the intro is really necessary because we're going to talk about Skinamarink. Now, I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not going to say it's a piece of shit because honestly, it's an interesting idea. The problem is in the execution. Alright? This guy, Kyle Edward Ball, came up with this idea of shooting this film with an idea, a story, I should say, that would be a standard horror film. These two kids alone at their house at night, their dad disappears, and the windows on their house disappears, and something else is going on. It could be your standard Shudder horror film, cheap release horror film that you find on a DVD shelf at a Walmart, which is where I found this, actually. I'd heard about this going around. The idea of the way that he shoots this, with everything being absconded, where, like, let's say, if I was doing a review and we just did that the whole time, or something. You know, hello, I'm Scotty, you're not, and we're just gonna look at that. Or we're gonna zoom in on something, you know, it's gonna focus on that. Or we're gonna bend it down to the floor. Not if you may see Mark Henry there. Or turn around, go up to the ceiling. It's an idea where you don't actually see what's going on. Where you have these main characters and you don't see any of them really. There's some shots like this. Here, where you see the back of a child sitting somewhere. A girl on a bed. Kid sitting there. There's the shot of just Legos. Like, what if all of a sudden I just cut to and just sat there for about 5 minutes while you hear strange noises? It's interesting for an art film that's maybe 15 to 20 minutes long. Not for a feature film that's 1 hour and 40 minutes long. That's too long. In fact, I'll be upfront with you guys right now. I did not finish this movie. I couldn't. I barely got an hour in. And I was like, how much longer is this? This gotta be almost over. 40 minutes left. I can't do it. I can't do it. Nothing happens. Something's happening, but you can't tell what's happening. To find out what the plot is, I had to look on Wikipedia to find out, or IMDb, whatever, to find out the plot of what is supposed to be going on here. Because sitting there for an hour, I could never have told you. If I just went by that and not looked it up, I couldn't have told you that the plot was about two kids whose dad disappeared, who are home alone, their dad disappears, and the windows disappear. I couldn't tell you that because all the dialogue is so muffled, it's hard to hear. Even with the subtitles on, it's confusing to me. I have the subtitles on, it's very confusing. And sometimes for stuff they know is hard to hear, they put their own subtitles up there. But, like, I was getting real frustrated at the beginning of this because I'm like, okay, when are we going to see some people here? And there's a shot where you hear a door open, and he cuts to where the door's opening, and there's a light there, and okay, someone's gonna walk in. And just as you think the person will walk in, it cuts to another shot of the floor. And then you hear the dad talking to his kids. It's like, no! Like I said, I understand what he was going for. But shots like that, which happen quite a bit in this film, where you think you're gonna see finally see a character, and it cuts to something else, that is just bullshit. That is teasing that you're going to show something and don't do it. That is a definition of cock blocking, in my opinion. That is just bullshit. That is like trying to get a rise out of your audience who just want to see a character and then you just cut. And then any of the kid characters only see from like behind or something. We hear them, whatever. You know? This movie is beyond frustrating to me because of, you know, the idea of this. If you're going to do something with this kind of an idea where you have the... See, now I messed up my freaking camera trying to prove a point to you guys. Where you're going to have... where it's weird shots. Don't make it an hour and 40 minutes long. An hour at most. An hour at most. At least 20 to 30 minutes. Maybe in the middle of a 45-minute mark. But an hour and 40 minutes is too goddamn long to be sitting watching disembodied camera shots, hearing muffled noise, copyright-free music, and looking at Legos for 5 minutes, and then they go away and they come back. And no. It's beyond frustrating when you just want to see a plot progress, and all you get is disembodied shots. Right? It's if this was a short film that was like on YouTube, 20 minutes long to even 40 minutes long, maybe even 40 minutes is pushing it for an idea like this. Especially if this is your first film you ever made. And again, this is another one of those, like James Wan, like David F. Sandberg, who had their fame in short films first and then became big filmmakers. Someone was trying, Shudder or someone was trying again with this guy. And I think this guy has talent to do something. This ain't it. It was an idea. This should have been the short film, and they should have expanded this idea into an actual film with a plot you can actually follow, instead of muffled dialogue, disembodied shots, as I'm calling them, and just frustrating to me. Like I said, if he did it one or two times where you thought you didn't see a character, but and it cuts away, he purposely avoids every character in this. The most you get, like I said, is the back of the kids. That's it. And that it's frustrating. And I got only an hour in. I can't imagine what the rest of the 40 minutes were. Alright? It's just... Now, I cannot, in my good conscience, give it a fry in hell, because I don't think it's that bad. I just think that it wasn't for me. So, in my humble opinion, it's not worth your time. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I don't even think it was a bad movie. I just think that it's an interesting idea for a short film that's 20 to 30 minutes long. Maybe pushing 45, I don't know. But for an hour and 40 minutes, that's just too much. It's too long to be sitting there. There's points I was falling asleep. I kept looking at my phone, because it barely kept my attention. And that was only for an hour, because it was an hour ago that I'm like, okay, we have to be almost done. 40 minutes left. I can't do it. I cannot sit through another minute of this movie. I just can't. Nothing is happening for me. Like I said, if I just watched this movie and sat here to talk about this movie, I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about the plot, because I didn't know anything. I keep hearing Dad, but that doesn't do anything for me, because I honestly couldn't tell you. I need a film. This was experimental. Not saying I think it's too experimental. I need a film with an actual plot, so I know what's going on. I hate to say this. You know I don't really care for the first Blair Witch film, but that was better than this. Showing nothing in the woods, people running around for about an hour and a half, was more entertaining than this thing. I'm sorry, it's just not worth your time. Although in a slight opposite to that, I will say check it out for yourself. But in my opinion, it's not worth your time. It's not worth my time, at least. But I would recommend you check it out for yourself first before just taking my opinion on the matter, because I feel this is going to be a divisive film where some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, and it's going to be like in the middle, where some people will praise this film for how experimental it was, other people are going to hate it for how experimental it was. And while I don't hate it, I just don't think it worked, especially for your first film. It feels like the studio was trying to have the next James Wan or David F. Sandberg, and just threw it all on this guy, and it didn't work, because this idea was too drastic for a first feature film. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's about it. I can't really sit and talk about this movie. I didn't finish it. I can't even tell you plot details like I usually would. It's a frustrating film for me personally, but I'll leave it up to you, your opinion on what you think of the film, because honestly, it's probably more of a viewer by viewer experience where it's each viewer is gonna have its own thing. It's not gonna be everyone's gonna love it or everyone's gonna hate it. It's gonna be very diversive. The audience is gonna be divided on it, I think. But yeah. So what are your thoughts on Skinamarink? Yeah, I didn't even do the Skinamarink dinky ding, Skinamarink doo thing. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I did like the steelbook though. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.